Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of No More Kids in Scientology. Well, you guys, in this episode, we are going to continue digging into Scientology Grandmother of the Year, Miss Priscilla Presley herself. And the reason that it matters is that there has been um, a sanitizing campaign that's going on right now as Priscilla is, you know, um, sanitizing, dismissing to a degree what is been alleged by her late daughter Lisa about the essay that she had as a minor, that she alleges she had as a minor from Priscilla's ex-boyfriend. So now there was a conference that was held over by Graceland where Riley was talking to Nicole Richie, and they were talking about the book. And it is very interesting for us that have been understanding and seeing her family from the inside of Scientology. It's been interesting to see how the different narratives get crafted around sanitizing different aspects that it would be impossible for everyone to understand what they're talking about. So I thought it would be interesting to just analyze some of the body language that we're seeing here and to also show you guys in Riley's TikTok account, we actually found this little sort of behind the scenes cutesy trailer that she did, because right now a lot of what's being said online is that Priscilla crashed this event and that Riley had no clue that she was coming. So I wanted to show you guys what I was able to find on her TikTok page here, because I don't know. I want you all to tell me if you are thinking that if Riley really did just crash, or if Priscilla just crashed, or was she really invited to this party? Oh, well, this is actually her doing all the PR. So and this is all the.
My mother had passed, my brother had passed away, and from here to the great unknown, kind of.
So there she is doing that press conference, but over here she had. Oh, it's this one. I am following the river down the highway through the. It's this one, you guys, and it's this one. I'm gonna make it bigger so you guys can see it better. But the whole apparent controversy had been that, Priscilla and Riley were not getting along, and that this was a surprise, and that this was a setup. So that was alleged, but then I saw this TikTok of them hanging out together sort of behind the scenes. So I don't know, you guys let me know.
I think we need another chair because we have a surprise. Do we? Was mine bigger than welcome to Graceland.
So there you go, you guys. That was Priscilla's entrance, and I've seen like a lot of people talking about how it looked like it was a setup to put Riley in a difficult position to be publicly speaking about the book, because she didn't expect Priscilla to be coming. And it all just looks suspicious just because it doesn't really make a lot of sense after everything that was published in that book. it seemed very set up that, Priscilla, who's working very hard in Graceland to sort of ingratiate herself, is, wanting to kind of sanitize and put a united front, even though she hasn't offered any comment about those allegations. And as we discussed yesterday, and we didn't mince words, how Priscilla would have known of those allegations. Why were they never taken seriously? Because they all were pretending. I mean, and I even thought about it more in terms of what it talked about yesterday on that statement that other daughter put out that said it was a family affair. It was sorted as a family affair, so-called family affair. And the pressures that were used to coerce everyone to keep secrets for themselves, for the greater good of the greater number of dynamics, is what you get told as a child. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. This is just for the greatest good, for the greatest number of dynamics. And that's how they always get you to change your viewpoint about making decisions that are always against your best interest. Or when your intuition is telling you, this sounds weird, this doesn't make a lot of sense, they immediately come to you and start telling you, no, this is for the greatest good, for the greatest number of dynamics. So you are going to know very quickly if this is in your best interest or not. So that's the charade that we're really wanting to expose here and talk about here, you guys. Because, like, again, I see this optics setup, and to me, it still screams a lot of PR. So I don't really know if Riley felt she really was set up or wasn't, but let's take a look.
It's not something that everyone has with their parents. I don't.
Okay, we're not going to listen to Nicole Richie on 2x speed because you know what, Nicole? No. Okay, let's see.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I'm good, thank you. Okay, I do know.
Speaking of family,
Yeah, I don't.
I think we need another chair because we have a surprise
Do we
guest.
have another chair?
So this is
Oh, well.
the so-called controversial entrance, you guys. You let me know what you think. I'll let you know what I think. Riley exits the stage, goes back there, tells something to somebody.
So much.
I mean, to me, this didn't look. I mean, I've seen a lot of channels covering this already, and they're like thinking that Riley was really like not happy or something, but I just don't know. I don't see that from this entrance. I don't actually see them being like, I mean, I think like maybe she couldn't have been a surprise, but that's also neither here nor there. But I would just push back for my own opinion. To me, this didn't look, they hugged, they were cordial. And again, if they're having a public event, like that's what they're going to be able to do, as they are representing the legacy of their family, and they're trying to do so with dignity. So to me, that's why these optics were put together as a way to be like, okay, yeah, and actually when you actually look at the messaging, that's actually going to become even more evident.
Wow. Was mine bigger than
Welcome
yours?
to Graceland.
I was going to introduce you. I was waiting for the chair to come out, but you need no introduction. Everyone is so excited that you're here, and it's an honor for me to be able to sit here with you and interview you. How does it feel to be sitting here with your daughter at Graceland?
Granddaughter.
How does it feel to be here with your daughter? I mean, if that was not a Freudian slip, you guys, I don't know what is a Freudian slip. Oh, what's up, Suppressive Squirrel? Priscilla nor Riley are going to use a book signing to discuss COS. Come on, be real. No one's saying that they're going to be discussing Scientology. We're saying they're discussing Lisa. The book is about Lisa. So no one is expecting them to be addressing Scientology. You know, we're just looking at this from our own perspective to really kind of read between the lines and understand from all our own personal experience, having grown up next to this family from when Riley was literally so young in the Fort Harrison, running around with Phaedra Jones, Benny Jones's daughter. Like, to see this whole development and how it's being contextualized, it's just interesting to us. So we're just offering our opinion about it. That's all.
It feels great. It feels great being here with her. I mean, we have so many memories, but just who she is today and how she just is her own person. And I'm very proud of her. And I love our time together and to be here especially. So I'm a very proud grandmother.
I would love to know about your first time coming to Graceland and what that experience was like.
Oh my goodness. I was only 17 when I first saw Graceland. That was something Elvis always wanted me to see when I was with him, and when we were together in Germany. And that's all he.
And you see, you guys, here we're getting some of the Elvis backstory, like this woman being 17 when she met him at the time, going into Graceland. And I think that is something that's been very much talked about in terms of like her age and how appropriate it was for her to be there with Elvis, given that he was much older. But imagine that in Scientology, they would have told her, what's the big deal? You've been at Dayton your whole entire lifetimes. Your body is irrelevant. And that's really what I think is something that I see from myself here, how she could be like, delusionally justifying the essay on her own child. That's how the Scientology parents were like, oh, they're just ageless spirits. We have technology here that makes you feel handled. So that's what's so dangerous. That's what's so dangerous. That's what's so truly tragic when you really think about how tragic it is that a mother would be convinced that her child isn't a child because their child is not a body. Therefore, they can manipulate the reality of the circumstances. In this case, how old was Lisa when this was going on? And, Priscilla, to me, it's giving a little sanitizing the narrative right now. Like, that she's a little bit giving that. But, I'm sure she's proud of Riley.
That's all he talked about was Graceland. And he had just bought the home just like a year or so before. He had gone into to.
How long has Priscilla been in Scientology, and was she born in? No, she was been in Scientology since I believe the late 70s. John Travolta was her FSM. So she got into Scientology because of John Travolta. And she had Scientology handlers around her the entire time I was in Scientology. For as long as I ever was in Scientology, they always told me, oh, guess who's part of Scientology? Lisa Marie Presley and her mother. And again, you guys, it's the use of these celebrity names, how they use to ensnare people. Because again, when you are thinking as a child, like, oh my God, Elvis Presley's family is in this religion too, then it must be legit. So they always use the celebrities to legitimize this situation, which is like what's so crazy and very, very tricky.
To Germany, and he couldn't wait to get back, and he wanted me to see it. It was the biggest. At that time, it was the biggest house ever. You know, now we talk about how big Graceland is. At that time, it was a big estate. So I came in just before it got dark, and we went through the gates, and I looked at the house and all the property, and I went, wow, I could never imagine how beautiful it was in my head because I had nothing to compare it to. And I walked around when I got out of the car and I just looked and I said, now I see why he loved it so much. And he said he would never sell it. So it was really a beautiful.
You know, the real weird thing about here, this whole pitch, you guys, that is kind of smelling like a rat to me, is that in Scientology, Priscilla would be spouting that materialism is like the devil. In Scientology, they tell you don't be PTS to the middle class. Don't like material things. You should just like not really think about that. Like give us more money to do the bridge. So for her to be sort of like glamorizing the mansion that she walked into when she was a minor, I mean, I don't know who is giving PR talking points to this woman, thinking that the way to sanitize in the year 2024, the fact that she was a 17-year-old girl in the so-called, quote, biggest house ever done, and how beautiful the mansion was and how amazing, you know, it's giving, again, trivializing and whitewashing the patterns of inappropriate trafficking of kids. Because again, this woman was underage when she and Elvis got together. And the fact is, you guys, it's like in no point in time it should have been humanistic for any adult to expose their kids to adults. Whether at that time they weren't thinking about it like that, you know, today we can go back to that time and we can say, yeah, probably shouldn't have happened. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Yeah, probably not a lot of defenses you can make today that are going to make a shred of sense to that situation. Because again, that is the level of soiling that happened that then it made the problem bigger and bigger. Then all the parents are thinking the same. Oh, well, the Presleys did it. Then why shouldn't we do it? And it sets a really horrible example, especially in the type of limelight these people were in. How many more underage kids were married off like that because they're seeing the example of this woman and thinking, well, you know, if everyone else does it, then it must be okay.
Beautiful sight.
And speaking of stories, I would also love to hear some stories about Lisa Marie as a teenager, because she talks in depth about how wild she was. And I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, and my heart goes out to you. So I would love to hear some stories.
Say no more.
And I can hear Priscilla's talking about say no more, and I really want to acknowledge that I think there's a level of tone deafness to this situation. We're talking about a woman that's no longer here next to her adult children, who definitely left us way, way too young. And we're talking about a memoir that, even though we know there's many things that were taken out of that memoir, what has just been revealed on its face is already very troubling as it is. But here, Nicole Richie is just being all about he, ha, ha, ha. I heard she was a really wild Did you get the point of what she wrote, Nicole Richie? Or did you like skip that? Or did that just go over your head 100%? Did you get the part that this woman that you're asking, the mother who was told about Lisa's situation, what happened to her as a child? Guess what happens, Nicole, to you as a child when you get essayed? Guess what happens? Take a wild guess. Could wildness be one of those things that happens to those? So it's very rich of you to be really talking to Priscilla with your ha ha ha, with your he, and tell us really about anecdotes of Lisa when she was a teenager and a wild teenager. Maybe you should have asked her an actual question, because again, it's like, it's a woman that's no longer here. The fact that she's no longer here is not, she didn't die of natural causes. So again, everything is out of context. Her underage child, 27, also unalived. Couldn't be more tragic. And it's just no laughing matter. In my own opinion, you guys, honestly, I go like, those are the facts connected to the story. So why sanitize it? You don't have to exploit it, but you can just remain maybe not totally tone deaf to the fact that, you know, the circumstances of what took place is no laughing matter. It's a horrible tragedy what this whole entire family has already been put through. So it could remain more dignified and more, you know, contextualized to what is written there. I mean, or I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it's just like, well, whatever. Because that's kind of what it's giving here with this tone deafness, you guys.
That your heart went out to me. That says it all. Oh my gosh, Lisa. She was her own person, that's for sure. And she was a little spitfire.
She was her own person, that's for sure, and she was a spitfire. I mean, again, Priscilla, like, spitfire, like, it's just like Lisa went through some really rough things in her childhood, unthinkable trauma in her childhood. Not all of it your fault, Priscilla. Not all of it your fault. But a lot of that dysfunction is dysfunction that you expose Lisa to. That is a fact. That is by your own actions as a mother, that at the time, whatever the excuse was, it was what it was, and it happened as it happened. But to continue to contextualize Lisa as a spitfire, and she wanted to be her own person, but you know who didn't let her be her own person? You. Because you know who told her that she needed to go to a hotel to be told who she is? You. Nobody is their own person in Scientology. They're all paying to be like L. Ron Hubbard. If you're being L. Ron Hubbard, you're not your own person. So that's the dichotomy of the situation. That's what you expose your own child to be put into. You were molding her into grooming courses. You were subjecting her to audits, literal illegal depositions conducted in hotel rooms, data mining unthinkable information, including but not limited to this exact incident of essay, Priscilla, because you, knowing so well how auditing works, would know the excruciating level of detail that some random inside of a hotel, of a Scientology Celebrity Center hotel, had hours and hours and hours of excavating that information out of Lisa. Why? For what purpose are you excavating, looking and digging for trauma like that? When all they do at that hotel is, okay, repeat it again, tell it again. And you purport that what? Talking about it ad nauseum is going to help anybody. And that's the problem with you. When a child's being abused and then they're being mislabeled, that there's some spitfire or that there's something wrong with them, or why are they so sensitive, or why are they so reacting? And it's like, because you're victimizing them. You put her in harm's way. How is she supposed to react by being put in harm's way? Because again, it's like all of our reactions against that situation, you guys, were projected back to our parents as there's something wrong with you. No, you don't get it. No, you don't understand it. You're not uptone enough. You don't have it together. You're degraded. You are an outpoint. It's like any pushback that kids in Scientology give back to their parents is turned around and made back the child's problem. There's no self-reflection going on in the Scientology parenting. It's a one-way flow. It's a, you do this, you do that. Now you stop this. Now you don't feel that. Now you stop crying. It's all commanding. It's all domineering. It's all like, this is not even helicoptering parenting. This is full-blown interjection and crossing of all common sense boundaries. So was Lisa reacting to all those crossings of those boundaries? Yes. Some kids had to do that. And the fact that Lisa wasn't in the Sea Org allowed her to keep that little shred of independence, which wasn't much, to be honest. Wasn't really that much. But you know, credit when credit is due. She had that much little tiny bit more of capacity to be like, yeah, like, I don't want to do this, mom. I'm going to rebel because I'm Lisa Marie Presley, because I'm the one in the inheritance. I'm the one that needs to turn 27 and I have all this money. And what do you think Scientology is doing all this time? Why do you think Scientology is all over controlling different aspects of this family? Why would they be there? Because they really want to save a world? So I would like to really understand how that world was being saved right about now.
She was, we had such a great time growing up. And actually, it was just her and I, obviously.
God, did you guys see that? It was only her and I, obviously. Priscilla, did you not get a copy of the book? Did you miss the part where you left her with Edward a whole bunch of times? Obviously you didn't. Obviously, you must have really skipped that part. Or obviously, Priscilla, you must have gone by so many misunderstood words that you just drew a blank, right? That part you went, oh, obviously we're having a lot of fun, just she and I, because we're obviously just by ourselves. I mean, please, what the hell, you guys?
Elvis had passed, and I tried very much to keep her busy. I took her to Europe, and I took her actually out of school because...
Oh, I think you just told on yourself there, Priscilla. See, you guys, see how they always just tell on themselves? I tried to really keep her busy. You just told on yourself right there, Priscilla. Keep her busy, because that's what children need, right? To be kept busy. By what? Adulticizing them? And what? Putting tasks that are completely not child appropriate, just piling that up on them, right? Keep them busy. That's what L. Ron Hubbard, the convicted felon that you worship, that you paid to worship as a grown-ass woman that you are, Priscilla. He said, production is the basis of morale. So keep your kids real productive. Make them clean the floors. Make them dust everything. Make them become contributors. Oh, yes, you're going to turn your child into a criminal if you're giving the kid more than they're giving back to you. So right? So Lisa had to be exchanging back to you, had to do productive things that you approved of. That's the level of toxic parenting that is going on here, you guys, just so you know. Scientology parents are all about really keep everyone real busy. They don't let kids just be kids. They don't just give kids the time and the space and the appropriate boundaries needed, common sense. And they're out there grooming them with the disgusting language that makes the kids like robots obey the children, because these parents can say horrendous, disgusting things to you guys that no child should be groomed to understand what that is, because it's a sick, disgusting, you're in lower conditions, you're a disgusting downstat. Like, why is a child pressed about a statistic? Because they get told you are nothing if you don't contribute. So it's all this double speak, and it's all this like, oh, but I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to empower you. But meanwhile, you weren't Lisa. We weren't letting Lisa be a child. That's what she needed.
The kids at school were asking questions, and I asked the teachers to please put any paper away that it comes out about Elvis passing and stories about us, and just to keep her out of the limelight of all what was going on.
I mean, imagine the stupidity of this pitch, you guys. I'm sorry, but in what world was a newspaper being kept around what Lisa had to worry about, Priscilla? I mean, in what literal world was that really the handling? Just don't put any newspapers around so that nobody asked. But meanwhile, you're taking Lisa to what? To deprogram her loss inside of the hotel. And how do they deprogram people from their so-called losses, you guys? Yes, they would have had Lisa go into the hotel, sit down in those cans, and tell me about the loss of your father. Tell me how you feel about the loss of your father. Tell me more about the loss of your father. Tell me how you feel about the loss of your father. On and on and on and on and on for hours and hours and hours and hours until you have to say, oh my God, I have no loss. I feel nothing. I feel great. I feel wonderful. This is amazing. I want Harvard to have genius. And that's how the trauma was supposed to be fixed, according to the people at the hotel. That's how you get rid of it. You just blab and blab and blab. And if you still have a feeling, then you haven't blabbed enough. You have to go over it again. Go over to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. Is there an earlier beginning to the incident? Is there an earlier beginning to the incident? And tell me to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. Have you arrived at the beginning of the incident? Well, tell me exactly what happened from the beginning of the incident to the end of the incident. And then go back to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. Are you there? Are you there? Why are children being spoken to like this inside of these disgusting hotels? How is that any therapeutic situation for a child to be told, to be forced to recount traumatic experiences, including not limited to the loss of her own father, including but not limited to, her essay? Because that's really what a child needs, right? That's been essayed. Return to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. What do you see? Who did what? Where was it? When was it? Is that all of that? Go back to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. Is there an earlier similar time of an incident that you did that? And that's how they keep you looped in a labyrinth of disgusting, unthinkable questions that, yes, there is no lawyer to help you field a shred of question. You're supposed to answer everything or you're not getting out of the room. That is made crystal clear to you. That's part of the grooming. You begin to understand that you will have no way out of the room. And the more you feel disgusting, it's because there's something wrong with you. So you are being abused and you have to blame yourself for it. But yeah, the newspapers at the school was what Priscilla was going with in terms of really protecting and shielding Lisa.
This is when Elvis passed. So it was good for her to get away, to go into different countries, and we went everywhere. We went to every toy store, especially. And I got her all the toys, and
I mean, again, you guys. So yeah, you got her a lot of toys, Priscilla. Oh my God, you went to so many toy stores. You went all around the world. Do you know what Lisa wasn't missing? I'm sure was material toys. She didn't give a fuck about the material toys. She gave a fuck about the type of relationship you were having, which included her calling you ruthless. Why would a child call their mother ruthless? What type of mother wants to be called ruthless? So you know who my mother was to describe her in a nutshell? Ruthless. When children are up against ruthless parents, you really put yourself in their shoes because they cannot defend themselves. Believe it or not, children cannot defend their literal selves. They're there at the behest of whatever in the hell dysfunction goes on. They're at the mercy of that. That's what they have. That's what you have to acquiesce to. That's why we're sounding the alarm, because these people lose common sense. They lose reality. They delude themselves through the language. Oh, you're just an adult. Okay, you're just a Thetan. Oh no, your father dying is just an engram. You already erased it. It already floated. You're really not supposed to be upset about it. Or do you want to go back to the room? Oh, you're still talking about it? You're still being overstimulated? Then let's take you back to the room. So regarding the death of your father, has anything been missed? Regarding the death of your father, has anything been missed? No, take another look. Take another look. What did you think of when I asked you the question regarding the death of your father? Something has been missed. What are you looking at right there exactly right now? What is that? No. Go to that incident. You don't want to talk about it right now? It doesn't matter. I'll repeat the question. Go back to the beginning of the incident with your father's death and tell me when you're there. Well, you're crying, but you know what? What turns it on will turn it off. So just go back to the beginning of the incident of the death of your father and tell me when you are there. When was it exactly? Take another look. No. Take another look. Whatever misemotion you're feeling right now, you'll stop feeling it when you tell me the right thing. So go back to the beginning of the incident of your father dying and tell me when you're there. But she went to a lot of toy stores. Don't you worry about it. Priscilla was making sure she went to toy stores. Right? Because you want to really get the award Grandma of the Year, Priscilla. That's how Lisa was being handled at the hotel. This is not breaking news to Priscilla Presley, you guys. Priscilla Presley calls this New Era Dianetics. That level of interrogation. Oh, I'm going to pay for you to, not have a problem that your father died. I'm going to pay for some intensives. And then they're going to just ask you a lot of interrogation questions. And, you're going to just blow it away. So this is not breaking news to Priscilla. This is not breaking news for, what do you think happened when my grandmother died? The one that was in the Sea Org. The one that was literally my groomer. Same thing. Go back to the beginning of the incident before your grandmother died and tell me when you're there. Oh yeah, she had a double disectomy. They got rid of her breasts because she had stage 4 cancer and, she couldn't go to the doctor. Go back to the beginning of the incident and tell me when you're there. Was there an earlier part to the incident? What are you looking at? What's there? None of this is therapeutic. None of this is something that any child would want to be asked. It's nauseating, it's disgusting, is indefensible, is unthinkable. And yes, this is not breaking news to any Scientology parent. Not at all. They will tell you, yep, that's exactly what it's called, the New Era Dianetics. And anyone that died in your life, you just go in there and you just repeat those questions ad nauseum for 2-3 days, however long it takes until you are numb and feel nothing and go, oh, never mind. I don't even care that my father died because you know what? I blew the charge. So that's how deaths are being processed by kids. That's what these people are exposing their kids to be asked that for hours on end.
2 suitcases coming back. But it was just anything that could keep her mind off of losing her father. And we were there for a good almost 2 weeks, and it was helpful. I just wanted all the paper. I made sure that when we were out, that when the papers would come out and it was right in front of us, that they would take it away. The same thing here in the States.
You took her away for 2 weeks to Europe and took her to a lot of toy stores. So that's what you were talking about, the toy stores. And then, yes, you brought her to Scientology to deal with the loss. That's what they would tell you, you guys. Like, anyone dying, it doesn't matter. They're already on to the next life. And just talk about the loss. And as soon as you talk about the loss disappears. It's literally how they tell it to you there.
So she didn't see any of that. But
I think she wants to know when she got grounded.
oh,
Want to know all the dirt?
I mean, if this is not a sick question and a sick Freudian slip, you guys, because again, you saw how Nicole Richie, and don't forget, in Scientology, they media train Priscilla. This is what you just saw Priscilla do is called the no answer answer. And they teach you that at the Success Through Communication course. When somebody asks you a question you don't want to answer, you just talk shit and you just make him confused, just like it happened here with Nicole. She asked her, like, yeah, wasn't Lisa really like, as a teenager? Oh, yeah, Lisa, I took her to a lot of toy stores. We visited a lot of toy stores and we went to Europe, and I always tried to keep her busy and keep her mind occupied. I mean, you guys, this is literally what she's doing here, like not answering. And then, yeah, good for Riley to bring up the question again and be like, yeah, she's talking about like when you were grounding her. Like, I'm sure she wasn't talking about Scientology groundings, which could really open another huge can of worms, like what we just discussed, you guys, like all of those audits. But here, Priscilla just laughs it up and ha, 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 la, la, la. Like, I mean, just listen to this laugh again. I think we just have to hear it again because it's ridiculous.
Here in the States. So she didn't see any of that. But
I think she wants to know when she got grounded.
oh,
Want to know all the dirt?
we're really going to go there? Well,
Oh, yeah, we're really going to go there, Priscilla. I mean, and think about, again, you guys, all of this laughing. Priscilla, breaking news to you. Lisa alleges that she showed you bruises on her behind. Now, I don't know if you can even picture the idea of a child that has to go to their parent because some random, your boyfriend in this case, Edward, is alleged to left her with bruises. What type of sadistic, disgusting type of degenerate could possibly leave a child with bruises on their butt? Grounding, punishments. Are we really going to go there? Ha, ha, ha. Laughing it up as if it's so funny. In what world are you not aware of what's on this book? Because this is, again, going back to let's just present it all sanitized, present it all like everything is great and wonderful. And you know what? Everything is not great or wonderful. And it does suck to be Lisa. It does suck that you were following the words of a convicted felon, Priscilla. It sucks to be you that did that to yourself. It sucks that you listened to John Travolta. It sucks that you even gave an F that John Travolta was trying to recruit you and use his celebrity status to be milking your money. Because remember, you guys, all of these people that bring people inside are getting a commission, just like real estate agents, 10% or 15% on anything that gets paid. And these people are making $100,000. So it's almost like they're buying a house and they get a cha-ching, Oh yeah, there were people that made a living out of the 10% that they get from all the people that they bring in. Because it's just like, oh, we just bought another house, we just sold another house, we just sold another bridge. Invisible bridges. So don't forget that John Travolta is getting paid for all the bridges that this woman has been putting money in Scientology. He's her original FSM. And you know what? Usually once they get very comfortable with getting the 10%, they don't want to let go of that 10%. So imagine how many years has John Travolta been collecting FSM checks? Just 10%, 15%, 10%, 15%. Anything Priscilla did, John Travolta got a cut. Anything Lisa Marie did, John Travolta gets a cut. Anything Riley does, John Travolta can get a cut. I mean, he's not the FSM of this family, but usually they figure out a way to rope them all in and put him as an individual package. It's like, no, this is my family. I brought him in, is how the FSMs call it. They're very, very territorial. They don't want to lose the 10%. Believe you me, they will do anything in their power to not lose the 10%. So that's the type of like things that Priscilla's talking about, just laughing it up and, oh yeah, I did punish her, didn't I?
There's quite a few times she got grounded. And it was all about boys. She'd sneak out, say she was going, with her girlfriend. And I followed her one day when I was a bit suspicious, and I had my sister come with me. We followed the car, and of course found out where she was going. I did get out of the car. I don't know if she ever told you this.
Not yet.
Put her in my.
So are you making up this shit, or why the hell are you asking Riley if she ever told you this? And I mean, again, you guys, like Lisa wanting to leave with boys, like this woman didn't have her child in any type of stable environment. So she was isolated. She didn't have a lot of people that she could really actually trust or communicate with. So there she was, exactly what she just said, and weirdly interjecting that, I don't know if she ever told you this. Is this in her book? Oh, she probably didn't say this part.
In my car, and we went home, and I told her, that I was very disappointed in her, that she lied, and that I didn't like the guy she was going with. And she goes, why? I go, well, because I don't think he's good for you. I think that he's a bit old for you. And so she said, well, what about my father? With me.
I mean, again, you guys, I don't see where the fun and the laugh is coming. I mean, she's literally putting herself back at the scene of the literal crime. And she's laughing about it. It's like, oh yeah, I did catch her going with an older guy. I didn't think it would have been good for her to be with an older guy. And then she just told me, well, what about you and my father? Then just laughs and laughs and laughs. I mean, it's weird. Why are they laughing? What's funny about Lisa dating older men and about her telling her mother that she did it herself? Like, literally.
I didn't say anything else after that.
That's a good one.
What way?
That's a good one, says Richie. I mean, we're talking about very dysfunctional dynamics, you guys, and no family is perfect. By the grace of God, we know there is no such thing as a perfect family. But you know what? There is context to everything. There's context. So maybe let's not laugh about that situation, Priscilla, because it really gives us, just how much you value, just how much you understand what survivors of these indefensible crimes actually go through when that's perpetrated to you as a child and you didn't consent. You should know You should already know. You should have already had that level of self-reflection that you would have understood to understand that maybe you shouldn't have ended up there. But it's giving you were cloud chasing as well. It's giving you did this for your own ulterior motives. And now today you're just writing it off as if it's a laughing matter, something to really sanitize here because look, I have Riley and me are laughing about it. So it must be totally okay. And what type of example are you setting for the entire world as you sit there and purport that a grown-ass man can be with your underage daughter and that you did that yourself? And then what? Just because everybody did it doesn't make it okay. There is a point of, okay, maybe those were those times, but maybe we did think things further. And in the year 2024, we're not just laughing about this issue as if it's just a real great, funny, comedic moment here.
What ways do you think that you and Lisa Marie were different? And what ways do you think that you were very much alike?
Oh boy, that's a good question. We were different. I mean, Lisa was curious, very curious about different things, and she wanted to experience different things. And you know, some things, you know, I was concerned about. I was mostly concerned about her hanging out with the wrong people.
Oh no.
She seemed to like that.
Oh no, Priscilla. Oh no. Oh no. In what world is somebody who got her entire family involved with the literal wrong people make a projection that you should be the one to really sit there and tell others how to judge characters and who the wrong people are? By all means, Priscilla, tell us who the wrong and the right people are. Because, again, trying to portray this like I'm like this little innocent grandma is not working here. It's really not working. And you literally ended up with the most wrongest of wrongest people. And imagine you have no self-reflection about that because you just find it all so comedic and it's just a jolly old time according to you.
The feeling of not being normal. She wanted to be different and she didn't want me to tell her. She was difficult as far as getting her to understand why I didn't want her to do certain things. She wanted to experience things herself. So I think that,
You didn't want her to do certain things? What kind of things did you not want her to do? Because again, when she came to you about horrific essay, you know, you just orchestrated, what was it? Oh yeah, an apology from your boyfriend. So what didn't you really want her to do? Because it's not really giving a lot of clarity right now.
and we would have little rounds of disagreements and, you know, she just,
You had little rounds of disagreements. Okay. Again, you guys, from having been Lisa's supervisor, I can tell you this lady was not having a problem expressing her thoughts, emotions, or opinions. She was explosive. So little conflicts, Priscilla, little, really? Damn. I mean, again, you guys, the whole time she's just sanitizing her image. Lisa just called me this. Oh no, we just had our little conflicts. Little teeny tiny beanie conflicts. Like, you know, Mom, your boyfriend left bruises on me. Okay, but he apologized, didn't he?
wanted, just like I said, to experience stuff. And I think for a mom, that's hard to let go of. I mean, she did experience with drugs. She did. And that was.
She experienced with drugs and you experienced with L. Ron Hubbard. So What's worse, Priscilla, according to you, experiencing with drugs or experiencing with L. Ron Hubbard? You set the record straight on that decision yourself. Because maybe Lisa was experiencing with drugs because maybe she was trying to numb the pain of maybe being dysfunctional, even including but not limited to as a grown adult, given the fact that there was a predator you had in her home, an alleged predator that wrote in his book, already corroborated back in his book in the 80s, that, you know, he was sexually turned on by teenagers. So imagine that all the corroboration that exists on the public record, Priscilla, just proves what lies you're spewing here, what type of front this is. As if no one is going to catch you, as if no one's going to connect the dot, as if everyone's just going to remember, oh yeah, the great American family. Thanks to things that you did, including but not limited to exposing your entire family to the scourge of L. Ron Hubbard, you already lost 2 family members that should be here with us today. Imagine if this woman would have passed you guys, we would have all said, oh, it sucks to be Priscilla, but you know, she's nearing 80. How old was Lisa? How old was Ben? Where did you put him? Who did you leave them with? What type of rhetoric did you normalize? Because again, you guys, I'm 3rd generation, Riley's 3rd generation. When you're up to your grandparents are implicated in Scientology, the last thing as a child you can do is this shit must not be legit. It's very, very hard to even come close to understanding that when your entire family structure tree is implicated, you identify with it. You're de facto, I was born in this. You're told you chose your body. So you go, did I really? Did I go, oh my God, there's L. Ron Hubbard. Let me really like come into my body and just be there. That's how they tell you as a child that you chose this. Everything that happened to you this life, you chose. You were already fully aware. You made all the decisions. I mean, how are children making those decisions for themselves? Imagine what type of grandparent or parent, Scientology parent, would put that on their child. Oh no, you pulled this in. You wanted this body. You wanted this life. You chose L. Ron Hubbard yourself too.
That was difficult, but we got through it. Yeah, she had a good head on her shoulder. Lisa was not stupid. She was very smart. She wasn't, at school, she could care less about school, but I'm talking about.
Did you really just say that in school she wasn't smart, Priscilla? Because you know what other thing happens to child victims of SA? They can have a hard time concentrating in school. Gee, I wonder if that doesn't just corroborate what Lisa said. And I wonder who told you it would be a great idea to pitch Lisa as like she was very intelligent, but not in school. Lisa did have a bullshit indicator. She was very good at exposing and indicating bullshit. So good, Priscilla, that she was about to take the stand. Imagine that. Because she was going to call the bullshit where she saw it, and she didn't give an F about anything other than actually standing her ground and calling out unthinkable corruption of including but not limited to cover-ups of systemic rapes. That is what your hotel that you belong to, this disgusting hotel that you paid to be a part of since she was a child, since John Travolta really sold it to you, put her in that position. She didn't deserve to be in that position, did she? Because again, she was a child, so she didn't choose this. You chose it. You were a grown adult. You wanted to look good with John Travolta. That's all you care about. John Travolta, make me relevant. Oh, I just have to join this hotel and then I'll be relevant. Oh, great. And I can just dump my child here and they're going to take care of her because she's very problematic.
About and her thinking and her thoughts of what she wanted out of life and how she wanted to live it. And
she wanted to be free. She wanted to be left alone. She wanted to just go and be a mom. She wanted to have regular people around her, not just a bunch of hyenas. Because that she could smell the rat about, you guys. And that we can just tell you, like, but it's very, very hard when you don't know where the blows are coming from because you're so gassed up by all these people that purport to have a relationship with you and are all about you, but they're not about you, but they are about you, and they'll throw you under a bus because they're data mining you, and she's got all these spies around her, putting all of this entire network to jail her here, but she thinks she's free, right? She's got 10 handlers, but she's free. Oh yeah, she's got a lot of free will. So that's the part that she's not discussing here, Priscilla.
I did worry about her and where it was going. But then as she got older, 17, 18, of course, she met Danny. And that's your dad, you know.
I didn't know that.
It's a lot of Dannys.
She met Celebrity Center's son was introduced to her when Priscilla dropped off Lisa at the Celebrity Center to handle her because she was just too problematic. And you know what they did to handle her? They married a very, very young Lisa. Because again, you guys, like, let's not get this twisted. Lisa, I think, got married here at 19. The Sea Org members were getting married at 14, 15, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19. All those ages were, oh yeah, as long as you just sign up a document at the courthouse, everything will be legal. Everything will be valid. There will be no context to anything. You are an adult just like any other adult. So, yeah. Danny from Scientology, the son of the Celebrity Center president, was used to, get in their life and start having a life together, and then have more people that can, be in her life with ulterior motives, with the capacity to go snitch on her and tell the president of Celebrity Center, Lisa's not happy with y'all. Oh, but don't worry, now that you're her husband, she can't get too mad because, if she gets too mad, she's going to lose you, right? So tell her to chill and just do what we tell her. Otherwise, she'll get declared as a suppressive person and, she's going to lose the father of her children. Tell her that.
Boy, she fell in love with him. And he was such a great dad. A really great dad, a great couple.
Great dad, great couple, Priscilla. And Danny Keough had a pretty lengthy battle with painkillers addiction, right? Riley grew up seeing her dad drunk and passed out. But we're a great couple, you guys. Don't worry about it. Priscilla's here to set the record straight. With a straight face. Again, Priscilla, you don't have to keep pretending that all these lies are going to sanitize any narrative. And I already said, you guys, this is not to harp on the dysfunction of this family. Plenty of our families are devastated and as dysfunctional as the Presleys. The only difference is that we don't have a legacy name and nobody knows who the fuck our family is. But believe you me, my family is full of this dysfunction from top to bottom. And that's the dysfunction that we are calling out. Because if the dysfunction isn't called out, then it just proliferates and infects more people. It's that simple. This is an infection going from person to person. Traveling infection. It's a pandemic of complete delusional zombies that are worshiping the rhetoric of a convicted felon that America keeps pretending is an American-bred God. A convicted felon is not an American-bred God.
Lisa started getting into taking drugs, and at that time things got bad, and she met the you-know-who, Michael Jackson. I wasn't happy about that either.
She met the you-know-who. She met the you-know-who? I mean, again, like, Priscilla, like...
She said, Mom, you know, I'm going to go see Michael. And I go, okay. But I said, she goes, what's wrong with you? Why don't you like him? And I said, I just don't like him. She said, well, why? I go, I don't know. You know, all of a sudden you two meet, and then you tell me that he wants to get married. And I know he was a big Elvis fan. I knew why he wanted to marry her. Did I ever tell you this?
No.
Okay. But I did know, and that was the...
So you're just breaking all the secrets today. You haven't told this to your own grandchild, right? How you felt about Michael, like you just never told anyone that you thought that Michael was a big Elvis fan. I mean, again, you guys, the whole way that whole thing went down was so random, was so hastily done. In Scientology, fun fact, this is in 94, Debbie Cook was actually talking to us and telling us, showed us the MTV Music Awards where Lisa and Michael were shown to come out together. And they were like, look, you guys, we're winning. We're recruiting more people on a weekly basis. Look, Lisa Marie that you all see come here to get serviced, it's really now with the king of pop. So the Scientology was very, very happy that this was going on. Apparently, Priscilla was the only one that had a problem because, according to Debbie Cook, we were very, very happy that Lisa was actually securing this recruit. It was lauded as a win. It was lauded as we're winning because now we're going to have Michael Jackson, and he is so powerful and such a big artist. He's going to go help us recruit more people, because if we recruit everyone on Earth, then we're going to achieve a clear planet. So how we're going to recruit every single person in the world if we don't have influential people that get a lot of people at once? That's what Debbie Cook was pitching at the hotel. With a full straight face in her military fake uniform. You guys, we're going to clear the planet. Michael Jackson is joining with us. Look, they're just here at the MTV Awards. Isn't that incredible? Hip, hip, hooray. But according to Priscilla, she really, you know, he who shall not be named. She's on that type of basis here.
The reason why, and she found that out, actually. She realized it. She hardly ever saw him. And she would call me up and say, you know, Michael hasn't been home for 4 days. I don't know where he is. So I said, well, didn't he call you, or didn't he tell you when he left where he was going? Did you hear this one?
You know. Are you bragging?
No. I just don't want to.
Like, I know all the
I've
stories,
already
you know.
said it. I don't want to say it. Did you like Michael?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Did
I
you?
was 6.
Oh, you were 6?
So Riley liked Michael. She was 6. And her dad was living with them most of the time anyways. Danny was always kept around, living in all the houses with Lisa because he was the father of the kids. So again, you know, dysfunctional in every nook and cranny.
I had a great time.
I bet. So, yeah, I was not happy about it. I knew that it wouldn't last. And she said, we were walking in Hawaii on the beach, walking on Hawaii. We were walking in Hawaii on the beach. And so we're talking, and she was saying, so what do you think? We're getting married, Michael and I. And I said, you're what? And she said, we're getting married. And I said, Lisa, you need more time with him. You haven't had enough time. You rarely see him as it is. So she goes, no, Mom, we're in love, and I want to marry him. Well, obviously they did. And sure enough, when they got married, she hardly saw him. She'd call me up and say, Mom, I have no idea where Michael is. I can't reach him. He won't answer the phone. This is true. Did she tell you that?
Why does she keep saying that? It's so weird. This is true. Did she tell you that? Like, what are you trying to prove?
We're all learning a lot together.
So,
And again, like all of this laughter, like about Lisa talking about this marriage, like you came to drop tea. I mean, I don't know, you guys. I'm so nauseous with this interview because I'm just like, is this woman here to drop tea? That's what you came to do, Priscilla, to just tell everyone what wasn't in the book, according to you, since you were actually addressed by Lisa in the way that she did paint you in the book, and it wasn't in a good light. She wrote literal songs about you where she called you ruthless. So
yeah, so anyway, Lisa did find out, the fact that she couldn't find him, the fact that, he was a lot different than, who she expected him to be. And called me up one day and said, Mom, you were right. I really want to get a divorce. And so I didn't want to rub it in. So I said, well, okay, do what you need to do. Yes. So,
I mean, again, the incessant laughing is just ridiculous. It's just really such poor taste, so tone deaf, so not the legacy of a survivor that went through a lot of betrayal in her life. And you know what? Don't laugh when she's not around after she was betrayed like this. Maybe don't try to just hold your laughter because it's giving, I don't know. I don't understand what's so funny about this moment, to be honest.
that was number 2 we got rid of. So.
What other boyfriends do you not like?
Well, we won't go there.
You're not going to go there?
What were your favorite memories of Lisa here in Memphis?
Oh my gosh, she loved coming here because I wasn't here.
Oh, you finally told on yourself, Priscilla. She loved to come here to Memphis because I wasn't here. She was avoiding you. You were not Mother of the Year to Lisa Marie Presley. That we can guarantee you. But that was no breaking news to you, right, Priscilla? You knew how Lisa felt about you. You were perfectly clear how she felt about you. And here you are butting yourself into this interview to make it about yourself.
She wanted to come to Graceland, so there's times I couldn't make it. But she didn't go to bed until like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. Delta, Elvis's aunt who lived at Graceland, her husband had died, so Elvis offered her to stay at Graceland. And she had, Lisa basically could do anything that she wanted. She didn't want to brush her teeth, she didn't brush her teeth. She didn't want to eat, she didn't have to eat. She wanted to eat something else, they'd go buy it. I mean, she ran Graceland.
She didn't run Graceland, Priscilla. She was neglected. Do you know that child neglect is a crime? Do you know that children that, don't want to brush their teeth, don't brush them. Don't want to eat, don't eat. It's giving, you're literally telling on yourself. It's giving you neglected that child. It's giving no one was looking after her. She wasn't running Graceland. She was neglected at Graceland, where you were nowhere to be found.
I would call her and say, you know, I would call Graceland and ask Delta, her aunt, you know, so what's going on? Is Lisa in bed? Now I'm in California. And she said, well, she was supposed to go to bed. I go, but is she in bed? She goes, well, you know, she's, you know, she's Lisa. So,
I mean, why are you laughing? You were calling Graceland to be told how your underage daughter was doing, and they would just tell you she's Lisa and she's not awake. And you didn't wonder what in the hell's going on? That's weird. I mean, this is this woman telling on herself on the level of neglect, in my opinion.
So I said, Delta, she has to go to bed at, 1 o'clock. 3 o'clock is way too late. She goes, well, damn, hell, she's not going to listen to me. You know that. I couldn't.
What child needs to be staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. and doesn't want to be told when to go to sleep? And again, the projection is that there was something wrong with Lisa because wasn't she such a rebel? Maybe she had no stability from the beginning. Maybe she had no adults that she could rely on. Maybe nobody bothered to see if her teeth were getting cleaned or if she was eating when she was hungry. Maybe she wasn't an adult in a child body. Because this is the pitch of this grandmother that is telling you with a full straight face that Lisa was an adult in a small body and she was running Graceland. And, she was just checking in on her every once in a while, calling to find out that her child was up till 2, 3 a.m. and wouldn't hear of going to sleep because, she's going to tell everyone what to do.
I couldn't win for losing.
So she wrote the song Raven About You, which she wrote the song Raven About You, which she talks about in the book. What does that song mean to you?
The song Raven, you guys, is the poem that we read yesterday where Lisa calls her mother ruthless. It's a very sad song, and she pretty much tears her mother apart in a very graceful manner, I would say. But it's very hard to swallow because it really is talking about the disgusting relationship that she had with her mother, where it was like her mother would always just keep saying, like, everything's okay, everything's wonderful, just be okay with everything. That's in a nutshell, like how we would describe it in our opinion. Like it's giving very much dismissive of everything. Oh, just get over it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Just smile. Let's have some tea. Let's sit down and have some tea and everything's going to be wonderful.
It means a lot. It really means a lot. When she had me listen to the song, it was very difficult because, it was such a beautiful song. And
it was such a beautiful song. The part where she's yelling out that I'm ruthless, that was a very beautiful part. I mean, you guys, you have to give it up to Priscilla. I mean, this woman has learned from L. Ron Hubbard. Credit when credit is due. This woman literally can disassociate herself and just go, oh yeah, remember that song where you were called Ruthless? And that you were so ruthless and you kept dismissive everything I said to you. Oh, it meant a lot. It was a great, great song. I mean, really? Was it a great song, Priscilla? I mean, it was no love song, I'll give you that much. It was definitely not a love song because you know what? One thing you would have to say about Lisa is she wasn't one to want to bullshit a lot. She had very little time for that. So when she was going to write a song about you, she was not going to make it about something that it wasn't, was she? But here you are with her gone talking about how, oh yeah, it very, very touched me in a very special way. I mean, it's like, give it up to this woman, you guys.
And
literally.
we've had our little ups and downs, and we always, work it out.
See, you guys, see, this is where you see the level of narcissistic woman she is. We had our little upsets, our ups and downs. Everything is little, everything is tiny, everything is just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it's like, who are you selling this to, Priscilla? Who are you selling this to? Who? Who's buying this? Who wants to buy this story, you guys? Honestly, it's up for grabs. Let's put it in auction. It'll probably go negative below zero, seriously.
But that song, touched me. Truly, it touched me. And it was her way of showing the love that she had for me.
Well, yeah, like a virgin touched for the very first time, apparently, Priscilla, because, she called you ruthless. I'm sure what type of mother says that their child calling them ruthless is a very touching thing. I mean, honestly, you guys, I don't know. I'm just laughing at this point because it's like such a train wreck that I can't cry. I can't cry. It's just the tears won't come out. I can just laugh at the stupidity of this woman really going with, oh yeah, that song Raven, where she did call you a ruthless mother, really touched you because that's the way that she thought to express her love. Well, you know what, Priscilla? If people that want to express your love do so by calling you ruthless, imagine the people that don't love you. Imagine the people that can see through your facade through and through. Imagine the type of songs they would be writing about, because it'd be great to start hearing some actual songs from people that, are not expressing that in a loving way, like you are literally misrepresenting here, as if no one is going to notice.
I want you all to go home and listen to that song.
Well,
Oh,
and this
really?
book touched
She doubles down. You guys, she doubles down. She doubles down. I want you all to go home and listen to that song. It's called Raven. You guys, the song from Lisa Marie Presley that she just got asked about is called Raven. Oh my goodness. Go on, dry your eyes. You know that I've forgiven you and I'm sorry. I mean, Priscilla, you didn't need to forgive Lisa. That's what you made her feel, that she always had to apologize for being herself, apologize for reacting to your abuse. Oh no, don't worry about it. I already forgave you about that. Go and dry your eyes. You know that everything till now wasn't really that bad, beautiful lady. Like, what's so wrong about you? Like, just cheer up, get over it. Hold your head up high. I know that I've been ruthless. I've been ruthless. So here, Lisa's literally putting those words in your mouth, Priscilla, in case you forgot to hear that part of the song. In case that went over your head, Priscilla, and you're just like, oh yeah, hold your head up high. I know I've been ruthless. I've been ruthless. Go on, dry your eyes. Hey, you finally see me. Hi, and I see you. Everything till now, it wasn't really that bad, beautiful lady. It's giving floating needle, you guys. It's really giving floated. It's giving you've been ruthless. And Priscilla really would like everyone to know in the chat that really have to go listen to that song.
touches so much on family and family dynamics and the seasons that we all go through, the ups, the downs. And I just want to ask you if we could have a check-in moment right now. Where are you right now?
I'm here in Memphis.
Hell yeah.
I mean, again, you guys, we want to have a check-in moment. Where are you? And she cracks a joke. Does she not understand that her daughter's no longer there? Because this is a lot of joking and degrading for somebody that really goes to a cult where they tell you that joking and degrading is disgusting. Priscilla, you are definitely doing a lot of joking and degrading here at this interview with Nicole, where she's going, hell yeah, hell yeah.
The comedian over here.
Yeah, comedian over here. Minimizing, trivializing my pain, trivializing the unthinkable role she played in the fact that, yes, Lisa's no longer here, in case anyone missed that part of the story. And we really needed Priscilla, the comedian, to come and really lighten the mood because, you know, Lisa just was able to tell part of her story, was able to name some of her abuse, some of her abusers. And there she is, Priscilla, coming to the rescue to sanitize and be a comedian. Maybe you didn't need a comedian as your guest of surprise for this interview. Maybe you should have figured out who would have been a better choice that wasn't a comedian, that would have really given the grace that Lisa needed to be spoken about, because it's not funny what she's been through. And the fact that America is making a mockery out of it, the fact that it's being facilitated by Nicole Richie, is quite a tragedy if you do see it for yourselves. I mean, literally.
How are you and Riley, and how are you with your family, and how is your relationship with your family?
You know, Riley and I never had all the papers that you have read that we're battling it out. We can't stand each other, blah, blah, blah. Have you read those?
I have.
Okay.
It's pretty hard to avoid.
What?
So it was pretty hard to
I
avoid.
know. And, you know, I'd walk and see the cover of these papers saying that how you and I are arguing over the will, you and I are this, we don't get along. And that is not true. And I tell you, all those.
Priscilla, did you miss the part that there were court documents being filed? That again, you guys, I mean, these people must really think that we're just like stupid idiots. Like, Priscilla, the reason you were being called out is because you were contesting that through your lawyers. Imagine you have lawyers representing you. Imagine Riley has her own lawyers. Imagine your lawyers are sending paperwork to Riley's lawyers. So you tell us who made up what exactly. Because this is making not a shred of sense. How you're acting all appalled is cleaning up your image without stating the facts. Because those court battles were literally lawsuits that you initiated to contest the will. Lisa's last will, on top of everything you did in her life, on top of literally not giving an F that she was being essayed by your alleged boyfriend. On top of all of that, you were also willing to call up your lawyer with your little phone. A lawyer doesn't type paperwork if they don't have a client, insisting that they are using the client-attorney relationship to contest a will. So where is the part that was misunderstood by anybody? So why are y'all just laughing it up and going, oh, everybody said such crazy things? Well, you know what? Check if you were not the crazy one.
Brag magazines, they're making money off of these lies. And Riley and I.
Oh yeah, making money out of these lies. So apparently you never told your attorney to file any type of contesting of a will, right? Apparently that's just a fabricated lie, and someone just fabricated that happened, and there was just a fabricated lawyer that was fabricated into existence, and there's absolutely no contesting of any sort of thing, and you and Riley have been on the same page forever and eternity. Because what? Riley's not an adult now? That what? Didn't see you and how you were throughout her entire childhood? You think that no one sees you, as if your literal nickname wasn't Ice Queen? As if you didn't like your grandchildren. Now you're really saying, you're really going with the title of grandma, but back then you had not wanted to be called grandma. So all of this grandstanding and posturing about how, oh yeah, everybody got it wrong, when there's little paperwork filed that, yes, was jarring for people. We're like, wait, what? She's contesting it? Wait, what is she saying? That somebody forged a signature? That Lisa didn't sign this? That's not nothing. That's not nothing.
I have always been very close. I think, haven't we? Yes, we have, always. Thank you.
I mean, if that wasn't just everything right there. You and I have been always so very close, haven't we? And Riley doesn't say, yes, Grandma, you're the grandma of the year. Why wouldn't I be close to you? And there she is, like literally, she falls on her face flat. But she really wanted to make sure she was the guest of, surprise here.
I'll tell you, all those rag magazines, they're making money off of these lies. And Riley and I have always been very close. I think, haven't we?
You know what? It'd be great for you to ask yourself in front of a mirror, Priscilla, if you've made any money by any lies yourself. The same thing you want to accuse the magazines. See if you cannot blame yourself for that in any type of way in your entire life. Take a look if you don't have similar overs of your very own in that department. Because that would be great to really find out if you do have some similar overs of your own where you have lied, misrepresented things to get your way. To what? Oh yeah, get money. Get some money for you. Get your bag, girl. Get your bag.
Yes, we have, always. Thank you. Always.
I want to thank you so much for coming out here and doing this. This has been such
This
an
is
honor.
fun. I didn't want to
It is.
go.
She wants to stay.
I mean, again, you guys, this is fun. It's not fun. Your daughter is no longer here. You should be a grieving mother. You shouldn't be chomping at the bit to come up here, make it about you, when apparently what Lisa has said about you and your delusion that you're so needed and wanted, Priscilla, could not be more inappropriate. Imagine that, I cannot think of the type of position that puts Riley in. Because again, you guys, no family is perfect. And sometimes you do have to make a lot of grace, extend so much grace for people in your family that aren't perfect. And that is up to Riley to do. But to put herself in the situation after what was alleged in that book, imagine that she went like a typical narcissist and pretended essay, bruises on her. We've just always been so close and we've always gotten along so great. And let me go sanitize my image because, this book is actually getting picked apart by the public. They're wanting to see what's in between the lines that has been taken out, that's been ripped out of the story. What else was not put in this story? If this is what made it, imagine what didn't make it.
Well, there's actually there are some questions from the audience that I think if we have time, I would love to read them out. Okay. This is for Riley. If you could spend one day with your grandfather Elvis, what would you want to talk to him about? And what do you want him to know about you?
Oh.
I mean, again, you guys, this is Lisa Marie Presley's passing. It's a very serious subject. This is a tragedy that she wasn't here to speak for herself. This is a tragedy that her daughter, that is trying to put a graceful front, that has been put to do more media than I've ever seen Riley ever do in her life or anything. Knowing Riley, she didn't want to do this media. Knowing Riley, she doesn't give an F about going to all these talk shows and pushing this book out. When have you seen her do any type of press media docket like this? Ever. For anything she's ever done. That's not what she wants to be doing. So who's pushing her to do this? Oh no, you really need to do this. You really need to clean and sanitize the name. Maybe she needs to be left alone. Maybe she doesn't need to purport that everything is wonderful in order to keep a false legacy based on iconography that, you know what, maybe shouldn't be so nostalgicized as everything was great and everything was wonderful. Maybe it should heed a warning to America that a man that was very creative and did create a lot of change for the world in the time that he was alive is no longer here. That this woman was somehow found herself 17 years old in Graceland, where she shouldn't have been, where her parents were putting her in there. It's been written on the record. It's not like she snuck out and no one knew that she was trying to get to Elvis. The parents of her knew and wanted her position there so they could get what? Were you lying for money at that time, Priscilla? Was anything you said to Elvis a lie? For money, like you said that everyone in the media is doing, because that would be really great to understand. So last but not least, it's like, no, this is not the time. This is not the place. This is not this family. This family's seen unthinkable, severe loss, starting from the grandfather, then the daughter, then her own son. So they should be mourned. They should be respected. I mean, what else would they want if they were here? If they were actually here? Literally. I mean, just put yourselves in their shoes. That's what this moment calls for, Priscilla. Put yourself in their shoes. They're no longer here. This MOOC came out by the sheer grace of God. And you were called out by most of the book. So stop pretending that, this was Lisa's way to tell you how much she loved you. If she's calling you ruthless, maybe get the memo. Maybe look up the definition of ruthless, unless you think it's a wonderful thing to be ruthless, like so much of the convicted felon taught you. Because don't forget, you guys, in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard told his surrogates to be ruthless. So yeah, she's not taking it as the insult that it is, because no mother should have a ruthless relationship with their kids. If they're being that, they're being, borderline predatory onto their kids, not some example of a mother that really should be held up to any type of standard. I mean, it's outrageous, disgusting.
Oh. One whole day.
One day.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think I would just want to spend time with him because I only know him through my family, and get to see if he fit the image I had of him in my head through her and my mom. I don't know what I would ask.
What would you want him? How would you want him to spend the day with his family? What would you want him to see?
Oh my gosh, first of all,
I mean, again, you guys, it's like, why would you be asking these questions in public? Who really needs to be entertained by the trauma and the loss of this family? Have they not been subjected to enough already? Why is this so important to discuss? Like, Riley never got to meet her own grandfather because of horrific, unthinkable circumstances. Riley's children are not going to be able to meet Ben because of horrific, unthinkable circumstances. Riley's kids are not going to be able to meet Lisa for unthinkable, disgusting circumstances. Maybe stop telling them to try to sanitize it and make it look like everything is wonderful, as if, people on the outside shouldn't be uncomfortable that this is a very tragic story, what happened with this family. This is not a success story of America, contrary to public belief. This is a tragedy. This family was infiltrated, all thanks to this woman who was laughing it up with John Travolta, was laughing it up about how, oh, let me really get Lisa on the rails by offloading her to this hotel here where they told me it's for celebrities. My child is a celebrity. She's the daughter of a celebrity. Celebrity center, take care of my daughter. Disgusting.
First of all, how close we are. And of course, you know, the children, you know, her little Tupelo and my son and just the family. It would.
How close you all are that you're suing each other, contesting the will. Got it.
I think he'd be very, very pleased that we all get along.
I think he would be not pleased with you whatsoever, Priscilla, because he told you, get the whole Scientology shit off my lines. And did you listen? No, you went against his wishes. You made sure Lisa was all the way up indoctrinated. You make sure that all of your grandkids were exposed to that. You are doing nothing effective to stop the fourth generation to be infected. I mean, I saw how earlier somebody said that Riley was out of Scientology. I don't know, you guys. That's the newest cleansing, sanitizing of an image there is. So for Riley to not be in Scientology, she has to have cut out her best girlfriends that she grew up with. So I'll see it when I believe it. When I see that she's really cut off everyone in her life that is in Scientology, then I'll start believing it. But you know what? I don't think she's going to want to, because why should she shut down friendships that she developed when she was 6 years old, 5 years old, with people that have been there for her whole life? Why would she do that? Why would she do that? What's the incentive for her to do that? I don't see what her incentive would be at this moment. There is no incentive that I can point to be like, okay, she's really going to keep her integrity now because she doesn't want to be exploited by Scientology anymore. You know, in her reality as a celebrity, she got so much, you know, special favors. So it's much harder for her to wake up to the facts, you know, especially if she's only thinking about herself and her situation, because that's how she's so stuck in there.
She's really hitting it home. She's like, we're all together.
Penny and Carter ask, what was the defining reason that Julia Roberts was chosen to narrate From Here to the Great Unknown?
I think I was given a list of actors who could read my mom's voice, and I think it was her voice from my memory just felt really honest. And my mom was just so honest, and it wasn't, I don't know, there was just kind of like a strength to Julia that I felt that was right, I think.
Julia and Erin Brockovich would have been better. You should have had Julia become and really go into the story as Erin Brockovich and really could have advocated for your mom. But I guess she was just reading whatever she was told to read as the actress that she is. But maybe have less acting. Maybe open your eyes more to the facts and how your mother was victimized, how your own brother was victimized, what their plight has been. Scientology hits different to a lot of different people, to a lot of different circumstances, to a lot of different things that are exposed to it, to a lot of different vulnerabilities that Ben would have and Riley does not, that Lisa had and Riley did not. So that would be very good to actually do, instead of just grabbing Julia Roberts to say, Lisa would have wanted for her full story to come out. Like you said, your mother was looking to put the truth out there. And unfortunately, this is not what this is giving at this point.
And
She said she would do it. So
okay, well, that's a plus, yeah. Deneen asks, what music did your mom most enjoy other than Elvis?
Oh my gosh, everything. Like, she loved disco. She
What?
disco,
Disco?
like to dance, like at
Yeah.
night. Like she liked disco.
Yeah.
We've got one disco fan here.
Awkward.
She loved I mean, so many things. When she was a teenager, she loved Pink Floyd. She loved like she loved being like, and she loved like hair metal, like when she was a teenager. But she loved.
She loves scary movies too. Used to watch them.
Horror movies.
Yeah, horror movies. All that killing.
Yeah, she really.
Ew. Ew. Wow, you guys, just when you really thought this woman could not go any worse, she really just said that Lisa looked horror movies, all that killing. Ha ha ha. Damn.
We really enjoyed forcing us to watch scary movies. Music, like everything. She loved, like currently before she passed, she loved Lady Gaga and Adele.
Lady Gaga, the Scientologist, Riley. Lady Gaga, the Scientologist, Riley. You guys, I think they got to Lady Gaga. I think they got to Lady Gaga because somebody at the center, at the testing center, told that to Jessica, and everybody laughed it off at the time, like, ha ha, they're just lying about it. I don't think they are. They wouldn't just be putting out names that are just randoms out there. They're proud of who they recruit. They're proud. They're told, oh my God, you guys, guess what? Breaking news. Lady Gaga is now part of Scientology. Shh, don't tell anybody. Just tell it to the certain people that qualify for that information. So very interesting that Riley now out of nowhere brings up Lady Gaga. Oh yeah, Lady Gaga, shout out to her. Hope you're doing great on your Purif, Lady Gaga. Allegedly.
And Adele, she loved. What else? Huh? Guns N' Roses, of course.
That's true.
Guns N' Roses.
Her mother.
Aretha Franklin. You guys know. What? Elton John. Yes, she loved Elton John. She loved 70s music.
You know, she was a big Elton John fan, and I got in contact with his manager for her to meet Elton. Did she ever tell you this?
What's in her book?
Oh, it's in your-
Weird. Elton John. Well, Riley didn't seem like she was such a big fan. And look at Priscilla trying to score things for herself because it's giving more that you wanted that communication more than you were really setting anything up.
Read it in her book. Here it is. Continue.
So we are, on that note, it is actually time to wrap this up, but I just want to give Priscilla we can stay. I can sing, I can dance. I mean, I'm down. I'm very down to stay here. I just want to ask you before we exit this stage, is there anything while we are sitting here talking about Lisa Marie, is there anything that you want the audience or anyone reading the book to really know about her?
Yes, you know, Lisa could be tough at times, and she would show her strength, but she was so giving, so caring, loved people, and she, she was always trying to find herself and what she could do to help. She was always in her heart thinking, who she is. Yes, she sang and had albums.
She was on her way to testify. She was on her way to testify. So yes, Priscilla, we agreed. Lisa wanted to help people and she was on her way to testify when all of a sudden, whoopsie doopsie, we just had a whoopsie doopsie here. Oh, whoopsie. Oh, never mind. Oh no, she's gone. Oh, what a tragedy. Ha ha ha. Laugh it up. Let's really go crash this interview and make it about you. Where are you missing the screw, Priscilla? Where is that screw gone missing from you? Because seriously, you should really be watching the feedback you're getting. It would do you some good.
all, but was there something else for her to do? Is there a plan for her? And she would talk to me about it. And she'd say, Mom, you know, I have all this fame, but I don't feel like I'm using it how I should use. And I said, well, you know, you can do anything you want. And she goes, but I don't know what I want. I just want to reach out to people. And I, you know, and I, that was how she had a big heart, right? She had a really big heart. And if anyone was in trouble,
And you have a big mouth and you're making it all about you. And you should really read the book to see what Lisa said about you. So maybe you can really actually have a conversation about the facts and not just this disaster that you're putting here for everyone to see.
trouble, she's the first one to be there. She was a very loving person. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you both.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, you guys, there you go. We broke it down, and it's very tragic, and it's very, very sad. And the dysfunction continues to run rampant because these people haven't been reined back, because these people are utilizing a language that allows them to dissociate fully the person that this language is being weaponized against. That's the Scientology language. Oh, you had an out 2D? Well, I hope it really floated. Remember, let's go back to our thing yesterday. You had an out 2D? Oh, no worries. This can all float, is what they tell you inside of Priscilla Presley's hotel. This floats. Just float it. We have the technology here. We're going to float it. We're going to float your needle. We're going to float, float, float. This doesn't float. This does not float. Out 2D means this inside of the hotel. This is what was coming up in Lisa's book. This is what was taken out of the UK version of Lisa's book, you guys, because that's the other controversy, that in the UK version, that part of the allegations were taken out. Oh, never mind. This one's never mind. So, but it is in the audiobook. And like I said, if this is all that was in the book, imagine what was not in the book. So there's a lot of stuff that isn't being cleared up, but there's a lot of stuff that is getting corroborated because the truth does corroborate itself. And these people can think that they're being very clever by, you know, not getting called out for anything. Well, you know, those days are over, because there is a thing called the internet, and we can have our own public opinion on these matters and contextualize the dysfunction that we observed to really wake up the collective, to really desanitize, make people come to reality, give them a severe reality adjustment, which they are severely in need of one. Scientology people, from Riley to Priscilla to everyone, y'all need a severe reality adjustment because y'all been effed with in unthinkable ways. And the truth will set you free. So you have to confront it, no matter how bitter it may be. And the only reason it matters is so that no more abuse is condoned. So no more of this dysfunction is falsely sanitized. So you can't just be laughing it up when real trauma could have very much been part of the reason, in our opinion, this woman isn't here to be with her young teens, to be with her daughter, to be with her son that she also lost. How much loss is too much loss? I really want to leave you guys thinking about that. How much loss is too much loss? Because in the Scientology families, the loss is tremendous and systemic across all lines. So I thank all of you for watching. I thank all of you for commenting. Leave your questions down below. Subscribe. and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.